Hello everyone and welcome to PaxAria Gaming. This is Reg and this is the final episode of Elden Ring Nightreign. At least as far as Ironeye is concerned. As you will recall, in this playthrough, I've been playing as Ironeye, completing his Remembrances quests, as well as the main quest for the game. And his remembrance will lead to a different ending than if you had played as any other character. So let's get started. This is the Night Aspect Expedition. For this expedition, we are teaming with Shermite and Jammal, or Jammal. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. But they're both pretty good. I am likely to continue playing. Probably not recording each Nightfarer I play as. This complete run is as Ironeye, except for the first episode. But I do plan to continue playing. I'll take a break because Wu Chang Fallen Feathers is up next. And in between main games that I record, I will continue to play this one. I am curious as to how the other characters play. Our goal for day 1 is to get to any level between 8 and 10. So let's see if we can get there. I'm not worried about particular items to find to confront this particular boss, because in completing the second part of Ironeye's Remembrance, I received the Edge of Order, which is a holy-based weapon, or holy-based relic that should do damage to the boss of this particular area. And the Night Lord for this area is Heolstar. So the item I just mentioned is his weakness. Now you can obviously beat him without doing that, because if you don't play as Ironeye and complete his Remembrance quest, you won't get that particular item. And I'm guessing he can still be defeated. It just makes it a little bit easier. And any advantage you can get in an Elden Ring game, you should take. one of the measures of how successful you'll be on a given run is how quickly you can take down these field bosses. If you can take them down in the 30-second to 1 minute, then you'll be able to actually do a lot more. And if you happen to get stuck on a boss, you have to decide whether you want to continue to fight that one or whether you want to move on. I've had instances where we've decided to stay and fight, die 2 or 3 times, keep coming back to it, and in the end it ends up just costing us a level. And of course, the flip side to that is, of course, you need to fight and defeat enemies in order to get runes, in order to level up anyway. So you have to find the correct balance. I think it's more important in day 1 than it is in day 2. If you can achieve your objectives for day 1. Again, 8 to 10. If you can do that, you get to level 10. Then it makes day 2 a little bit easier. And since 15 is the max, you can't go above that. So once you hit level 15, if you're still in day 2 fighting, you really probably should be looking for things instead of fighting, because the runes won't help you. By the time I catch up to these guys, they will have killed the next boss. As they're already halfway done with the battle mages. Where's this guy going? Oh, okay. So they're spread out. Okay, so at least I helped. I helped this time. You know, I guess if I ever decide to play as Ironeye again, it would be to attempt to do some of these solo, which would require me to really map out the map so that I can still level up the way I need to in order to face the boss. Although the bosses will have a third of the health that they would have if you were playing as the trio that you've been playing as. So there are some benefits to doing it solo. I just haven't tried. Okay, this was 30 seconds or less, which is good. It's the kind of run we want. Level 6. These shield guys are very annoying since they can block my arrows. Alright, we cleared out this little army camp. Got another church, so we have another flask. There's usually not much in these towers that Ironeye can actually use. But if you're playing as a mage, then it's important to hit as many of those towers as you can. Alright, we have some more knights. My first step. Okay, this was someone's remembrance quest. I think that's the only time you end up with an invader. I'm not sure what everyone else's invaders are like. Ironeye's invader is a mimic of himself. Or if you believe in the multiverse, it's actually himself in a different universe. And the day is coming to an end. And I'm still at level 7. Well, that's not good. So I guess it's possible to make it to 9, depending on how close I am to 8 when we confront the boss of this area, assuming I don't lose a level by doing this stupid stuff that I'm about to do. Getting caught on the edge is crazy, and I look at that as sort of poor map planning. Okay, so not too bad. But we didn't even complete the last camp, so I'm not sure that it was worth coming over here instead of picking something that was a little bit easier for us to sort of conquer or deal with. I mean, especially since we know that the days are timed to about 15 minutes each. Okay, at least it's not too bad of a boss. The Royal Revenants aren't too terrible. But yeah, we know the days are timed for 15 minutes, so You know, if you plan it that way, then you can say the first 12 to 13, I say first 13 minutes, you could spend, you know, killing as many things as you want. By the time you get to the minute number 13, assuming you're fairly close to the area, you should be heading to the boss spawn spot, taking out anything you see along the way. And that way you don't ever risk losing a level. I think in almost every part I've lost one level. I shouldn't jinx myself because I haven't yet. But in every other part I think I've lost at least one level. I think I only made it to level 15 once. I think I would have gotten to 15 another time if I hadn't lost a level. So again, it's your playstyle, and you don't need to be, it's my second death. You don't need to be 15 in order to confront the final boss, or the Night Lord. I think it's more helpful if you are, but you don't need to be there. Okay, as I thought. So we made it to level 9. It's a good space to be for the end of day 1. Anything between 8 and 10. So getting to 15 is still very much doable for day 2. Oh, the other thing I learned, although I haven't done it yet, is to move a little bit faster. I can always activate Ironeye's mark ability when I'm jumping, and it'll move me through the air a lot faster. But you will not see me do that because I haven't done it in any part of the game. It's not a mechanic that I remember when I'm trying to get to a particular point. But my understanding is it does come in handy. Okay, I guess we've been to this church before. This is way too much time without killing something. This is a... I'm assuming this part of the map only appears in this expedition. Because as many times as we've gone through the other expeditions, we've never come across a area like this. Well. Our old friend Augur, or Mavis. From the Augur expedition. Although in this case they're labeling her as Augur. Not Mavis, Maris. Who clearly has a lot less health this time around than when we faced her the first time. Very interesting. Very interesting area. Okay, that's all we came here for? This map, this part of the map would have been really interesting to spend more time exploring, but given the time constraints, like all the other areas of the map, I think we're just going to rush through and kill as many things as we can. And I'll try not to get lost, which looks like it's pretty easy to do in this place. It looks like my partners are in different locations. I'm just going to follow him. We're not going to fight the little scrubs. Only level 10. Definitely not getting to level 15. We spent way too much time running through empty spaces. Okay, this is apparently got a big loop. Yeah, I think we're going to end up landing at 12 or 13. Unless the end of the day boss in this area gives a tremendous amount of rooms. just chose that randomly. Ironeye, poise doesn't mean anything for Ironeye. I mean, he's an incredibly squishy character, so poise isn't really useful, but none of the other things were useful either. Alright, Natural Born of the Void is not an easy fight. Okay, that was a difficult fight. What have we here? I could be wrong. We could get to level 15. The day is coming to an end. Ooh, get out of there. Alright, is anything worth it? Go, 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 go. I'm going to die. This is so unwise. Now to race to see if I can get to the edge of this before we die. I'm at level 14. No! Go, go, go. Okay. 14 is actually okay. So maybe I was wrong about all of that. Looks like we could get to level 15. So we have to be getting pretty close to the end of day 2. Hopefully they'll give us a reasonable boss for the end of day 2. I don't know who it is. This area is so different from the places we've been before, so I don't know whether they're going to come up with something different or whether it'll be just like all the other ones. I'm about to find out. Okay, Ancient Dragon, not too bad. Yeah, we're going to make it to 15. Not bad. I need to get a mark on him. Okay, here we go. He's got a huge health pool. Okay, he's... The goal is to try to stay behind him and avoid the tail whip. Or stay under him, either one, because that's easier to avoid the lightning and his swipes. All right. Yeah, I figure physical damage negation would be good. Depending on which version of this boss you get, you could be facing poison, madness, frost. I'm not sure whether there's something you do in the expedition that sort of determines which one of these you're going to face. Okay, so not enough to get to level 15, but 14 is good. Yeah, I don't know what causes. I think the worst would be madness, especially if you didn't equip madness resist or something along those lines when you first came in, when you first started the before you started the expedition. The same is true for any other set of affinities. If he's doing frost and you didn't equip frost, so it's, I guess the chances are you probably have like a 20% chance of getting each of those particular kinds of afflictions, I guess. I definitely didn't plan for whatever it was he was going to have. I only planned for what he's weak to make sure that I had that particular relic equipped. And for me, it's a special item, the Night Order. I know this boss has more than one phase. He has a sort of a starting phase that's relatively weak, but then his second phase is just like batshit crazy. He actually tears a fabric in space-time. Or tears a hole in the fabric of space-time. Okay, let's see what kind of entrance he makes. Yeah, he can teleport. And there's no real tell, so you just have to be prepared to dodge. So he can teleport directly behind you. But in my role as Ironeye, I should sort of stay out of his range. Yeah, well, I didn't that time. And just chip away at his health. Whatever you do, you don't want to use all of your resources in phase 1 because you'll need them in phase 2. So being a little bit more careful in phase 1 is important. Because unlike us, he gets a whole nother health pool when he switches to phase 2. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. Now he's in his Heolstar mode. And like almost all of the other Soulsborne games, he has a Moonlight Greatsword. I think there's only one game that sword has not appeared in. I don't remember what it was, though. It definitely appeared in Armored Core, which you would think it wouldn't. Maybe Sekiro was the game it didn't appear in. We only got him down to like 20, taking 20% of his health away in this phase, and the deaths are coming a little bit quicker than I would have hoped. Yeah, when the sky goes dark and those magic things pop out of the sky, just dodge them. Thank God for iframes. Yeah, the one good thing about Ironeye is that if he's winding up for one of those super duper attacks and you have your ultimate ready, then just go with the ultimate. There he goes, splitting. Okay, so as long as it's not madness or poison, great. This looks like either holy or lightning, I can't tell. They look a lot alike, but either of those two are better than I think it's holy, are better than madness or poison. Okay, we have him down to halfway in his second phase. Maybe it's lightning because he's weak to holy, so I don't guess he'd be throwing holy at us. Yeah, he's going to be difficult to revive. Can't lock onto this guy. Oh, shoot. I don't think Shermite can defeat him on her own, so I figure if I crawl closer to this guy and she tries to revive us, she has a good shot at reviving both of us. Unless she has one of those sort of automatic revive things, at least one of them. Which I don't think I actually saw it. Maybe I didn't look for it when we were at the, there we go. We're back. And she's dead. So let's see. Let's see if we can't get her revived. Oh, she's back. Okay, cool. Okay, so all three of us are back up. Looks like we have it down to about a third of its health. Just a matter of staying alive at this point. Yeah, I don't know how to avoid that particular AoE. Okay, but they look like they're about to... Yep, they just did. Heolstar is dead. Very nice. Very, very nice. I owe it all to them. W Shermite, W Jammal. No, I think everyone gets this part of the ending, but then it becomes character based when you interact with a character that you see. Look around, looks like the place is desolate. except for this guy.
The night is far from over.
Yeah, I don't think you get that line if you give him the soul of the Night Lord. You had an option there. But in order to complete Ironeye's remembrance, I had to do what I did. If I didn't want to complete his remembrance, then I would have chosen the other option. In that other option, you would simply walk past him, walk out the door, and you would turn into the golden light. I don't know what you call it. The little spark that you always see in an Elden Ring game when you're, the first time the Tarnished was revived and stuff like that. Not quite sure what it means. But again, from a replayability standpoint, if you replay the game, you can certainly replay it, and you can actually go back to a previous save point and choose the other option and see what the other ending would be for Ironeye. And then you can go back and play as different characters to see what the remembrances are for each of those characters. And it may be worth doing because some of them are pretty interesting. Like Wilder and Duchess being brother and sister, which you wouldn't know unless you completed the remembrance. Or the Guardian's backstory, things like that. So there's a lot that you can do. So if you're doing the one playthrough thing like I did here, then it's relatively short. If you're doing the multiple playthroughs, then it can be pretty intense, especially if you're doing any side kinds of things as well. And I know that Ironeye is one of the easier characters to play. And, some people say, oh, well, he's OP. I don't know about that, because it depends on what you find in the game. Yes, you get more invincibility frames when he does his ultimates, but I think that's true for the other characters as well. That when they do their ultimates, there is some invincibility. His may be a little bit longer. The marks also gives them some invincibility, which I think is a little different from the other characters. But it's a fun game. Very different from Elden Ring in some regards, because you really don't have time to really explore. You're just trying to get to certain places so you can get the resources you need in order to fight the bosses and to level up. The leveling up is automatic, so you don't have to worry about how you're going to distribute your runes and things like that. I like that part. It makes it a lot quicker. The other thing is that you don't take fall damage, although you could. I think I died once by falling off a map that I probably should have tried. But the difference between this and Elden Ring, and that you're climbing or scaling cliffs in order to get to different places, and you're using the spirit birds, is very different. So that takes a little getting used to. While you can play this solo, I think it's meant to be played as a multiplayer game. I am not a multiplayer gamer type person, and probably won't be, just to be honest. So if that becomes a trend, then I'll end up playing fewer games. I'm always playing something, but most of them are solo games. You know, even if you can be invaded. You know, I left it on so that invaders can come in some of the Souls games, which is fine. It's fun, as long as it doesn't happen too often. But for the most part, I like playing the solo games. But we're going to wrap this episode up here. This is the final episode, Nightreign, Elden Ring Nightreign, Part 8. The Night Aspect Expedition successfully completed. We defeated Holgar, the final Night Lord. And as the sentence ended by saying that the night is far from over, gives you the idea that, yes, there is replayability. And you can go back through and play again, or you can do there's another form of these bosses that you can play through as well. But for now, thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you in the next series, which will be Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Take care.